That night, the storm tore the sky apart on a deserted highway near the small town of Ashwood Falls, Colorado. Rain poured down as if someone wanted to wash the world clean, and the wind whipped hard enough that cars only wanted to rush home as fast as possible. But in the middle of the blinding sheets of rain, a large Harley sat dead on the roadside, its dim red tail light flickering like it was about to die completely. Beside the motorcycle, a man in a black leather jacket sat collapsed, his shoulders shaking, not from the cold, but because he was crying as if he had lost everything. Cars sped by one after another, no one slowing down, no one rolling down a window to ask a single question, until an old blue pickup truck suddenly braked and pulled over, and a woman in her 30s stepped out, letting the rain drench her tangled brown hair. Her name was Megan Carter, a single mother who worked as a mechanic, more familiar with grease than makeup. Megan had no raincoat, no umbrella, only a pair of calloused hands, and a heart that didn't allow her to turn away when someone was falling apart on the side of the road. While the whole world chose to speed past, she chose to stop, step into the rain, and crouch down beside the crying biker. Megan had no idea who he was, what club he belonged to, or that this small decision in the storm would change the course of her life, shake the quiet town of Ashwood Falls, and rekindle faith in kindness for countless strangers. If you believe that acts of kindness can make a difference, please like and subscribe to Kindness Stories 365 and comment where you're watching from. Megan lived on the edge of Ashwood Falls in an old mobile home with peeling paint and a patched metal roof held together with leftover sheets of tin and tape. She worked part-time at a garage in town, and the rest of her income came from fixing neighbors' cars right in her dirt yard, just enough to cover bills, gas, school supplies, and medicine. Ever since her husband left without a word, Megan had gotten used to carrying everything alone, turning wrenches while counting every dollar in her head, trying to stay strong for her 15-year-old daughter, Lily. Every night after Lily went to sleep, Megan sat alone beside a stack of bills, the red numbers looking like they were about to jump off the paper. But even when pushed to the edge, she held on to one rule: never leave anyone stranded on the road. Over the years, Megan had pulled countless stalled sedans, changed tires for trembling elderly ladies, and jump-started batteries for absent-minded uncles who forgot to turn off their headlights. To her, that was simply the right thing to do for a mechanic with an old pickup truck. So when that night Lily was dozing in the passenger seat and woke up to see her mom pulling over, she panicked. "Mom, don't! He looks scary!" Megan still opened the door, turned back to reassure her daughter. "No one deserves to cry alone in a storm, sweetheart. Do you understand?" Then she closed the door, pulled up her thin denim jacket, bowed her head against the rain, and walked toward the silent Harley and the large man sitting beside it. She didn't know that, from that moment on, her name would appear in diner conversations, on the lips of Iron Wolves bikers, and later in letters from people she would never meet. Getting closer, Megan raised her voice just enough to rise above the sound of the rain, while still keeping it gentle. "Hey, are you okay? Need a hand?" The man didn't respond immediately. Rain dripped in heavy streams from his helmet, mixing with the water gathering at the corners of his eyes. After a long moment, he finally lifted his head. Behind the fogged visor were bloodshot eyes. The eyes of someone who had taken a hit no kind of strength could protect him from. Up close, he looked even more intimidating. Thick beard, thick neck, tattoo-covered arms, leather jacket stamped with the Iron Wolves MC logo. A name everyone in Colorado recognized. A biker group people preferred to avoid. Anyone else might have rushed back into their car, locked the doors, and sped off, But Megan didn't see a biker club member. She saw a man trembling on cold pavement. "What's wrong with the bike?" she asked, kneeling to inspect the wiring and exhaust. "I'm a mechanic. If you let me, I can take a look." The man swallowed hard, his voice hoarse from crying and yelling into the wind. "I'm Jack Turner." He didn't explain. He didn't say why he had collapsed there. Megan didn't ask. She simply turned on a small flashlight, pulled out a worn folding knife, and knelt beside the Harley, letting the rain hammer her back. Her fingers, used to rusty bolts and stubborn parts, moved instinctively, tugging wires, checking fuses, wiping away water from connectors, tightening a few loose spots. Jack watched silently, his breathing gradually steadying. In the roar of the storm, the soft clinks of metal sounded strangely like the pieces of his heart being reattached. No one had ever crouched beside his bike like this. People only saw the Iron Wolves logo and stayed away. But she only saw a broken machine. And a broken man. After a few minutes, Megan stood up, closed the seat, and took a step back. "Okay, try starting it." Jack climbed onto the seat, his hands slightly trembling as he turned the key. The engine sputtered hesitantly, then suddenly roared to life, its growl slicing through the curtain of rain. Jack stared at the dashboard, then at Megan, as if he couldn't believe how simple it had been. "Why did you stop?" he blurted out. Megan shrugged, rain causing cheap mascara to streak down her cheeks, though she didn't seem to care. "Because no one should be left like this, and because fixing broken things is what I do best." A faint smile tugged at Jack's lips, a rare sight these past 2 days. He extended his hand, large, warm, slightly shaking. "Thank you. Really, I owe you one." Megan shook her head. "Just get home safe." The Harley pulled away, its red taillight fading into the storm. Megan climbed back into her truck, soaked like she had just crossed a river. Lily stared wide-eyed. "He's an Iron Wolves biker, Mom. What if he comes back?" Megan started the truck, sighing. "If he's still alive tomorrow, maybe one day he'll understand why someone stopped tonight." She had no idea that same night, in a bar outside town, Jack was sitting among a circle of Iron Wolves jackets, placing his helmet on the table, telling them about the woman who stopped in the storm and pulled him back from the edge. Even the edge he couldn't face himself. The next morning, the first sound wasn't the kettle. It was a deep, rumbling noise like thunder crawling under the ground. Glasses on the shelf vibrated softly. "Mom, what is that?" Lily asked, eyes wide. Megan wiped her hands, pulled the curtain open, and froze. From the main road leading into the trailer park, a line of motorcycles was approaching like a steel waterfall. Black leather jackets, chrome gleaming, the Iron Wolves MC logo on every back. Neighbors panicked, yanking curtains shut, locking doors. A few curious ones secretly recorded videos. The entire convoy stopped right in front of Megan's dirt yard. Engines slowly died, leaving behind a heavy, weighted silence. The lead rider removed his helmet. It was Jack Turner, no longer the man broken by the roadside, but someone standing firm, exhausted yet clear-eyed. Megan swallowed hard, stepping onto the porch even as her heart pounded. Lily clutched her sleeve. Jack took one step forward, his deep voice echoing across the small yard. "Last night, you stopped when everyone else sped by. You fixed my Harley, but what you pulled up wasn't just the engine." From inside his jacket, he pulled out a worn photo. 2 young men smiling brightly on an old motorcycle. "This is me and my younger brother, Ryan. 2 nights ago, he had an accident and didn't make it. Last night I was trying to ride to the lake we used to go to. When the bike died, honestly, I died too. Jack inhaled shakily. If it wasn't for you, I might have done something stupid on that roadside. But you didn't ask who I was or what the patch on my jacket meant. You just knelt and did what you're good at. You reminded me there are still people out there who don't turn away. He gestured behind him. These are my brothers. People hear a lot of bad things about iron wolves. But one thing is true. We don't forget kindness. Today we're here to return a part of what you gave me. He signaled with a wave. Several bikers opened the trailer on the back of their truck and began unloading lumber, steel, cement, and tools. Within minutes, Megan's yard turned into a construction zone. "What are you doing?" Megan gasped. Jack looked straight at her. "You're a mechanic, but all you have is a patched-up tin roof. You helped me find my way again. Now it's our turn to build you a new road, a real garage, so you can do what you do best without worrying about leaks or mud." Amid hammering, sawing, and the stunned stares of neighbors, Megan realized the night storm hadn't ended when the Harley started. It had only just begun. In the following weeks, the rundown trailer park on the edge of Ashwood Falls had never been so lively. Every weekend morning, the roar of Iron Wolves' engines returned. But this time, no one called the police. People peeked from behind curtains, watching tattooed men carry wood, mix cement, and lay roofing like a team of seasoned builders. Jack didn't stand aside giving orders. He wore gloves, hauled boards, and debated with Megan about where the garage door should go, or whether they needed a window so sunlight could shine directly onto the workbench, where Lily could sit and study while watching her mom turn wrenches. Lily went from fear to curiosity to becoming an official assistant, bringing water, passing out sandwiches, taping her drawings onto the wooden walls. One huge biker with full-sleeve tattoos turned bright red when she handed him a picture of a Harley with wings and the words, "Thank you." Neighbors changed too. People who once whispered, "gang," began bringing muffins and coffee, awkwardly clearing their throats. "For you guys, in case you're tired." When the steel frame went up, the metal roof was secured, and the concrete floor set. A sturdy little garage stood where Megan's muddy yard used to be. Inside were tools she once only dreamed about: a lift, an air compressor, neatly arranged wrenches. On the day they installed the final garage door, Jack handed Megan a ring of keys in front of Lily and the silent row of trailers. "No contract, no debt. This garage is yours, Megan. You owe Iron Wolves nothing, except to keep being the person who stopped that night." Before Megan could respond, a few weeks later, Iron Wolves organized a brotherhood run, more than 30 motorcycles stopping in front of Lawson Repairs, the name Jack had painted on a brand-new sign. Inside the garage, they pulled a large tarp off a gleaming machine. When the cover dropped, Megan gasped. A custom motorcycle, assembled from the best parts each member had donated from their own bikes, with a fuel tank painted with an image of a woman holding a little girl's hand in the rain as a motorcycle rode toward the horizon. Underneath were the words, "Fixing more than machines." Jack placed the key into Megan's hand. "When you forget what you're capable of, start this engine." On the day Lawson Repairs opened, there was no ribbon cutting, no media, just Megan rolling up the garage door, Lily turning on a small radio, the scent of engine oil mixing with fresh lumber. She thought she would have to wait weeks for her first customer, but word spread faster than engine noise. People came not only for affordable repairs, but out of curiosity about the woman whose garage had been built by a biker group. They brought broken vehicles and broken stories. An elderly farmer with the tractor he'd used his whole life, a widow with her husband's minivan, a young man with the dirt bike he once rode with his dad. Megan fixed machines while Lily taped their photos on the wall, the two of them called the Honor Wall. Gradually, people in Ashwood Falls stopped whispering when they heard Iron Wolves' engines. They smiled. They nodded. And the story of that stormy night traveled far beyond the town, carried by simple words. Somewhere out there, someone still stops. If Megan's story makes you believe that stopping for someone, even just for a moment, can change an entire life, please hit like, subscribe to Kindness Stories 365, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it.